Hello and welcome. Today we're going to check out the toy fair located in Birmingham at the start of the year of 2024. Now there is something for everybody at this toy fair regarding to the huge amount of different toys that there are available on every single stall, but obviously we are here for the different Lego sets. Now there were some hidden gems dotted around all of these different tables, and our purpose is to try and find them. But this is a very raw, rough and ready video, so I have literally just dropped and dragged all the different files down, so I haven't had time to edit this together properly, but it is what it is. So we're going to have a look at all of the different bits and pieces on the table. I have slowed the footage down, so we will be able to see the stuff on the table a little bit better, but you can see the Toy Collectors Fair is here today. So I do believe we're going to start off with the wrestling characters. You can see you've got all of the different people there, and they are on an offer. So buy one for X amount, or you can buy 5 for 20, so £5 each. So basically buy five, you get one free, and you can obviously just mix and match them all up. So there was lots of different offers to be had. So if you are a collector of anything with regards to, again, Transformers, you've got Terminator characters there, there's Neca here, you've got the different GI Joe characters that are there, and you can see some of them are 70, some of them are for 50. But like I said, we are looking for the odd Lego item, and if you pay attention, there will be a Pac-Man Lego set. There it is, hidden within all of that, next to the Batman Shadow Box as well. And that's it. So that's how we got to do this game. But you can see you've got the Batman Forever. There's loads of different Batman stuff. The animated series with here. You can see all of the other little bits and pieces from all of the other cartoons and the different films as well. And then you had all of these that are wrapped in individual bags, which are all differently price pointed. And then you've got some bits and pieces that are on card for the Joes. And you can see you've got some larger Star Wars vehicles to the left-hand side. And then up at the top, there's some bits and pieces that I have absolutely no idea what I'm looking at, but I am just panning around trying to eyeball where all of the different Lego minifigures are, where all the different Lego sets are, but then at the same time, having a look at some of the new toys that I've never really seen before or seen in other people's collections. But you can see that they are in Action Force, you had Star Wars, you've got all the G.I. Joe, and then you've got Mask. This was very, very popular all around. You could buy lots and lots of those, and then you had some of these different bits and pieces. There's some little construction sets within there, and then coming through you've got more different bits and pieces in those bags, and then you've even got magazines and different bits and pieces like that to buy. Loads and loads of micro machines. Now I have a very, very big soft spot for micro machines. I used to collect them when I was a teeny tiny lad, and very, very tempting to actually look into that a little bit more seriously, because I wouldn't mind starting off another micro machines collection, which is yeah, weird and wonderful, but we'll save that for a different upload. So again, coming through, you've got the different legends, but look at this, £1,000 for that if you wanted it. A sealed Series 10 with a potential Mr. Gold. And then we've got all of these dotted around everywhere. These were just randomly located in. So you can see you've got the Simpsons ones, you've got Series 10, you've got Series 12 with £380 sealed. Then you've got the full movie wave for 240, Series 2, full box. So I think you get 3 of each character in that. And then all of a sudden, next to that stall, you're back at to the different Star Wars bits and pieces. So you might have to pause it, you might have to go back. We do have a very, very good look at some of the stores as well regarding the Lego stuff, because there are huge amount of minifigures everywhere. But that took me by surprise, actually. I have never seen a sealed box with a potential Mr. Gold on the inside. So obviously Mr. Gold was a sort of a chase minifigure, if you will, where there was only a certain amount of them in the world. You could at one point go on the Lego website and register the number of the Mr. Gold that you had, but I don't know if that website is still active. So to be honest, I don't know if there's any more of them left, because there isn't any more of them left. Then obviously that is very, very overpriced. But do your own research, and if you do your research, let me know. Right, back in. So there's some nice giveaways in here. You've got some other little bits and pieces in there, which I wish I actually went back and picked up 1 or 2 of these, but I just did not have time. You can see you've got the Lego movie stuff, loads and loads box minifigures as well. You've got lots of Lego Friends. Then you've got all of those, which I needed to pick some of them up, but obviously didn't have time. And then you've got bags and bags of Duplo and larger bricks, and then just bags of everything. So all of this that we're looking at now is all construction stuff, all under the Lego banner. And then coming up across the top, you've got your Lego Friends. There's a superhero setup at the top, which is a different version of the Joker Land. So that is the add-on pack to what I needed for my actual Joker Manor. And then you've got this run of minifigures across the back. Some of them are very, very special indeed. So you can see some of them were sealed. Some of them were obviously just on the actual little plinths and plaques. All different sort of CMF minifigures in there. And I'm sure some of them will be screaming out to you with regards to adding to your own collection. But this is only a teeny tiny amount of minifigures that we are going to be having a look at in today's upload. So like I said, it is a full mix of absolutely everything. There was a little space rocket down there. You've got the Christmas giveaway purchases underneath there as well. And then again, coming around, you've got a lot of giveaways piled up in that middle section, which I've only just spotted watching that back. So I did do my best to pay attention, obviously, but looking at it through a viewfinder is a little bit harder said than done. And then you've got all of these different Jurassic Park sets. Obviously, you've got that nice little Avengers Tower as well. And then you have a different superhero set for a Batman. I don't even know what that one is. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Then you've got Atlantis. That was a really nice range when that was out. Some of the Speed Champion stuff. And then again, moving into the smaller stunts, bits and pieces. And you can see you've got the removal wagon. Again, that was a nice giveaway. And above that was another giveaway. That is one that I don't have. I have the other three, but I don't have that one. But to be fair, I don't need that one in my collection anyway. And then you've got some really nice minifigures dotted on there. Now, moving down a little bit on the stall, again, lots and lots of Simpsons characters. So there was no Simpsons houses, so you couldn't get the Quickie Mart or the house, but there was loads and loads of different minifigures just dotted around, which was really nice to see, and it was lovely just to be able to see the different ones. And if you were a Unikitty fan, there was loads and loads of those and loads of those there, because I think Unikitty was the first one that came in a box, and then obviously because there was no QR code on it, everybody was just getting duplicates. There's loads of spare ones, but if you did want to backtrack and get a full collection of your Unikitty, I think they did Series 1 and Series 2, then I think all of those were available for just a couple of pounds each. And again, yes, there's lots of Lego sets like we're looking at now from the Lego Batman movie, where you got Big Clayface with the cool little minifigures that are included in that. And then underneath that, like I said, it's all mixed in with all the toys. So like I said, we are going to be hunting down all of the different Lego sets within the toy stuff. And obviously here for the toy stuff, then ignore the Lego stuff and look at the toy stuff. Nice and simple. There's something for everybody. Some of the old Volcano sets that are dotted up at the far back, mixed in with obviously all the Star Wars characters. And then at the front, you've just got boxes and boxes that you can hunt through. Now, there is a couple of nice characters included in that. And then to the left-hand side, I think they are little bags of the magazines. Yes, they are. So that's what I was eyeballing. So they're all the different sort of poly bags or foil bags or whatever you want to call them. The ones that are attached to the magazine when you open them up. And then obviously they're just a couple of pounds each. But you do get some nice minifigures in those. So if you can't get the magazines in your country and you just happen to be coming over, that would be a good way to get some stuff. But there are the Unikitties. So there was near enough a full set. They were interesting to see. This is a completely different stall, and obviously you can see there's some nice ones in there. I think there's a Magneto in there. You've got obviously Loki's up there. You've got a good selection of all the Muppet CMF minifigures as well. There's some good Ninjago ones in there. I've got most of those, which is fantastic. You've got the odd chef, and then we're back into these foils. And again, limited edition Nexo Knights, and then there is a Batman movie one, which I didn't even notice. I didn't even pick that one up. I would have got that because I've only just noticed that was the logo on there. But like I said, you look it through a very, very, very small viewfinder, and it's not until you look at it back and go, yeah, I should have looked at that. But you have got an old Mr. T Clubber Lang, so there were some really nice Rocky characters in there, mixed in with some vintage Rambo stuff as well. And then there was some original Doom to the right-hand side. And then as we come up, I think this was the stand that had the multi-pack. It was top left-hand side there. It was the multi-pack of Rocky characters, which were going for an absolute small fortune. I'd never ever seen those before, but they did look very, very impressive indeed. Now, moving on to the next stall, you can see you've got some Indiana Jones stuff, and then you've got some nice alien stuff. So if you are a horror collector, there was a huge amount of horror stuff here as well, which is always nice. So it's always interesting to see what everybody goes for and what all the different people collect. Actually, are we still on the same stand? We might be. Yes, we are. We've got the A-Team underneath, and then there's that Rocky one a little bit clearer. And then, yes, there was a Matrix thing on the inside. And then here you've got all of the different ones all grouped together. But these were selling like hotcakes, some of these. Some of these were getting grabbed quite quickly. Some of the stalls, loads and loads of people seemed to sort of group around and they were very, very busy, where other stalls, not so much. But you got a big Jabba for £80. Underneath that, I think that Reservoir Dogs, maybe, I think. And then below that, you've then got a nice Star Wars ship for £45. Something from Halo. I think that was a Halloween 2 character dotted there, so that would have been a big, tall Michael Myers as well. And now we were looking at the floor. Moving on to the next thing, that is the nice aliens. Like I said, if you're into your horror and all that kind of thing, they had a huge selection of, I was about to say horror stuff, NECA stuff, alien stuff. Basically, all different kinds of horror films did have some Michael Myers bits and pieces. I think it was there as well, so we'll be hunting those down. And then obviously they're right beside Star Wars and the Toy Story stuff. So you've really, really got to tuck into every different bit of piece. And Again, is there any Lego bits and pieces at the bottom? No. Then we've got some Pokemon cards. That was a big thing here as well. So obviously people are really collecting all their different Pokemon cards. You can see you've got classic Dick, I do believe. That's a nice Robin just there. And then you've got Scout Walker moving on to the left-hand side. Yes, there's a Lego box in the middle. There is tiny little Star Wars ship just in the middle. Couldn't tell you what ship it is, but it does look like it's beside a construction figure. And yes, that is another a He-Man castle, not the construction set. That is the Mattel play set. And then coming around from the left, you have got all the Bionicles, which I have never seen so many different Bionicles grouped together. And obviously, that was a huge thing with the company. Now, this store was interesting because he had boxes and boxes of built up Lego. And yes, you got that really nice Batmobile at the front. And he was just keep putting different sets out. So every time you walk by, obviously, people have bought different bits. You walk by, and there was loads and loads of stuff there available. And there was a good space on the table. Now, the store behind him as well was all sealed stuff, and this stuff was all built. So it was a really nice combination of the two. But yes, that Formula One track at the back, that really did catch my eye just there with the Shell garage, because I had the one after that, which is their own version of Octan, not the actual Shell sponsored one as such, where obviously Lego had to pay for their own licensing fee. Then this is all the sealed bits and pieces on the other side. Some of these were great value, some of them are obviously expensive, but that is because they are slightly older. But you've got lots and lots of mix and match of Star Wars stuff. You have then got some discontinued bits and pieces. That really did catch my eye. The Masters of Spinjitzu, that's £380. Behind that was then the Tumbler, which is the older Tumbler of the two. Obviously, there is a newer one out at the moment for half that price. And then you've got some really nice bits and pieces on the inside, some nice giveaways that are included within there. You can see you've got the Back to the Future car. That would have been a tempting purchase, because obviously now they've only got the much larger one rather than the smaller one, but I think the minifigures are the same. You've then got the little store. You can see you've got some nice superhero bits and pieces, and then we get into the pricey stuff for some of the ships. You've got Kylo Ren for £100. To be fair, that was a lot of Lego for £100, but then this was a lot of money for the Lego. This was £550 for the sand crawler. So if you did manage to get one of these, yes, this is sealed and it is shrink wrapped and it is in mint condition next to the helicarrier, which is also another 500. I think that's 520, that says. The problem is I would not keep the mint in box, and I don't collect the sets that way. But if you are a mint in box collector, this seller had everything. Now, they also had some really nice Winter Village stuff. So you had the Santa's Workshop for 250. That is the one that I'm missing. And then you have got some others that are in there for 130, 200 and 250. And I got all of them retail when they all came out for about 60, 70 pounds each. And it doesn't take long for those Winter Village sets to skyrocket in price. You did see the Beatles on the side, and then you have got some vinyl pops mixed in on all of that. And then these were quite hard to find when they first came out. These were the sort of the Chinese New Year sets, were actually exclusive to the Legoland stores, and then obviously I think the larger flagship stores as well, but they are now a little bit easier to get hold of. But if you want to try and backtrack some of the sets, they are very, very expensive indeed. But then we move on to more toy bits and pieces. Again, they're all wrapped up, but you can see some of them are £1, some of them are more expensive, some of them are much cheaper. There really was something for everybody here. It's definitely worth coming down to if you are in sort of a maybe up to a 3-hour drive. If not, to be fair, you can get cheap enough hotels. You can make a proper day of it if you wanted to. The only thing I will say, there wasn't that many places to eat around here. That was the only thing. So if you are travelling further afield, you would then have to drive off to then grab a bite. And I think, to be fair, it would be quite nice if it was a full day that you had here, where it's only really half a day, because from when the doors open to when they kick you out, it's not the longest of times, and it was absolutely ramsacked of people because we had early access, so we paid extra to get an early access ticket. But you will see soon enough, it will soon start to fill up, and then it will get much, much harder to see all the stuff that are on the table. So enjoy what we're looking at now, because it does get much, much more difficult as we go. But again, you can see some of the Avengers stuff price marked at 20, some of the X-Men stuff price marked at 10. Then you've got the full collection there, I think, of series 1 or 2 of the Indiana Jones stuff. So again, something for everybody if you're in here. Some of the stores were huge, some of them just sold the specific type of actual characters and figures. Others was just a complete mashup of absolutely everything. Some of them actually, like where you're looking at now, where they look really, really neat and tidy up on here. Underneath that, then had boxes and boxes of either loose figures or other bits and pieces like that. So you really had to spend quite a bit of time looking at all the bits and pieces everywhere. So some of them just had them in containers like this. And then again, they went to the front of the table and then it went up and they just had them stacked across the back. Now, again, with regards to what I am eyeballing, which is all the Lego different bits and pieces, nice Thunderbird stuff. Wish Lego did Thunderbirds, to be honest. There was a few different Thunderbird sets there as we spin round. That is the floor. That is the floor. And here we go. Back to this stand just on this side where there is a collection of a few different bits and pieces. So you can see that you have got some turtle stuff. That is, I have one of those turtles. That is all I have. Now, moving on to another stall. We've got some really nice, bright, vibrant characters. They are some new Jada toy characters from the Street Fighter range. They do look very, very good indeed. And then you have the Batman bits and pieces moving over to, and again, the Batman. You've got some Avengers stuff. And then you've got some Spidey stuff as well. So they do look very, very smart. Remember, there's all different stuff from every single company. So if you can recognize where some of those Japanese imports have come from, because you will have the Mezcos in there as well as all the other little bits and pieces. And then you, like I said, keep saying you've got NECA, you've got all of the stuff from Mattel, you've got all the stuff from Hasbro. It's everything and everything is there. And then if you want to make up some Corgi airplanes, well, you're spoiled for choice because you can do, and you can even buy some teddy bears as well. So, like I said, there's a huge amount of trains and cars, games, as you can see at the background, all these cool different minifigures, and obviously the larger ones as well. That did look great. I don't know why I did not get that Rancor. I don't know. I think that was Jay picking it up and putting it back down again, and I just didn't bother picking it up. But I don't know if we are going to get a Rancor with any of the new Star Wars stuff this year. But these are all custom figures. You can see you've got the custom. I like these. Just all the custom horror characters. You've got some. They are some aliens, some predators. You've got Gizmo. You've got the cool one from the Ghostbusters, which I should have picked up because that was not included in the Ghostbusters set. And then you've got all the Super Mario characters and some other ones like that as well. And they all do look very, very good and very, very smart. Now, moving on to the next table, again, you've got some bits and pieces that are more expensive, so they'll be covered, like those G.I. Joes, for example. Then you've got the nice cards. Some of them aren't punched, some of them are. So again, depending on what type of collector you are, there's something there. Now, this is just me panning around just to show you that I am only not even halfway through. You could get some food at the very, very top, but what I meant was if you wanted to make a day of it and you wanted to eat after the event had finished, you would struggle. Now, with regards to the animated series from Batman, they were dotted all over the place, and obviously I've just picked up that in Lego form, and that was very, very good indeed. And then we have some other characters dotted around all over here. Up at the top, you've just really got to pay attention to everything. There's an Ecto 1 dotted up there beside a G.I. Joe ship. I think might say Cobra on the top of that box. Don't forget, I'm now looking it through another small screen again, so it's not the easiest. Hot Wheels seem to be a very popular thing around this way as well. Lots of different cars, but lots of Hot Wheels, lots of micro machines. And then there was all these dotted in. That does look like an old classical vintage Batmobile. Lots and lots of multi-packs of bits and pieces, and then as we're coming through, it looks like there's a good collection of Ghostbuster characters there, and then you've got some really nice Spider-Man card backs, so they would look fantastic on the wall if you were doing a mint on card collection. I think they would look very, very good indeed. And then to the left-hand side, what have we got there? We've got a Seawolf, some more Spider-Man characters, some Alien characters. No Lego though. I'm still looking, like everybody else is in the background. No, but look, Thunderbirds Rescue Pack, 54321. Thunderbirds are go, and then they had the one beside it as well. Now, back in the day, because the set apparently was, well, I say apparently, I can remember this, was so popular, Blue Peter made a special episode with regards to how to make your own Tracy Island out of paper mache. So if you want to Google that on YouTube or go onto YouTube and hunt that down, I'm sure that was a thing because you cannot, for love or money, buy some of those Thunderbird sets. That's how popular they were. And now you hear nothing of it. Now that I wasn't too sure what that was. I wasn't too sure if that was a Transformers thing. And then they had this just randomly dotted there, which was a obviously split in half space shuttle. But that is worth quite a lot of money. But I don't know why it was in pieces. I don't know if it had been knocked or if they're just taking it apart so it didn't get damaged. But again, what you've got to remember is that if you're going to buy bits and pieces, you can go back to the car, go for obviously where you saw me walking at the start, go from the car park, come straight back in again, and then you can just carry on with your shopping. So if you are buying the larger Lego boxes, you don't have to worry too much with regards to missing out on those types of things. Now, again, there were a few Spider-Man bridges located within here. We've got obviously a full selection of Jurassic Park stuff. I think we have a bit of a dry spell on regards to the Lego side of stuff for a minute or two, and then we have a huge amount of stalls all side by side, which is obviously nice to see. But this stall looked fantastic. This had probably the most eye traffic and people taking photos. And actually, I saw loads and loads of people buying these because all of the stuff was in cases. And it did just look very, very smart. You could see you got all the different wrestling characters, and then they had like all the different bits and pieces beside it. It just looked really clean and tidy. It was a nice way to actually present and sell all the different bits and pieces. And again, yes, more Batman stuff. Again, that one was £35. Some of them, you go around, you can see the same set a couple of times, but the prices are completely different. So you've got to be careful with what you're paying for. And then don't forget, you are at a trade show, so obviously there's some of the stuff might be a little bit more expensive, but then one or two bits that you thought were going to be expensive was an absolute bargain. So some of them, like this, for example, great looking set for £25, but did not include any of the minifigures, which was a little bit of a shame. And then we move on to the next thing where you can see you got a really nice Hobbit set. Now that thing was a little gem, I think. I know it was a lot of money, but you don't see them. It's actually the first time I've seen a Hobbit set mint like that in years and years. But this table had all sorts of dotted bits and pieces. And again, little minifigures for £2 each. So if there's anything in there that catches your eye, then obviously let us know in that comment section below. And obviously let us know if you actually turned up to this event as well, or if you were a trader. How did you get on? Would you be coming back next year? I would definitely like to go to another one of these. And when I get chance, I will start going back to some more of the Lego shows as well, because obviously there's some really nice bits and pieces on sale at the end when I went up to, where was it, Bristol the other year? I think Swindon. It was Swindon last year, and they had a huge sort of trade area where you could buy lots of different Lego sets, and some of them were really older sets, which obviously everybody wanted to get their hands on, but they did all look fantastic. Now, again, with regards to any of the older stuff, if there's anything here that have you caught your eye, or any collection that you're thinking of backtracking, what is it? Because I would imagine you could have either started a collection here, completed a collection here, or even bought potentially a good amount of a collection regarding, say, for example, Star Wars stuff over the 1 year, and every single trader would have had something. You might have been really lucky and maybe got some of the different cards from multiple places, but obviously you're going to have to pay for that. Pop vinyl was a big thing there, so there was lots and lots of those available, and a lot of wrestling legends were available as well. You can see they are £26 each, and then the prices change as you go round and down. Now, again, with the bloodline being so popular, I would imagine if you were to do an OG bloodline with regards to getting the original characters from that family tree, you would have been able to have got those really, really cheap here. Now, maybe not so much with regards to potentially how popular that storyline is going to be. So you've got to time things right, but you can see some of them £20, £25, £10. And again, they do look nice in their protective cases. Some of them, I would imagine you would get them in the cases, others not so much. Loads and loads of nice micro machines there. So they do look really cool. So you've got the G.I. Joe Ninja Force. So if they're really bright pink, again, I'm a big fan of those micro machines. But some of those look £550 for that, £330 for that one. And then you've got some really nice looking Ghostbusters. They are £500 each, I do believe. So just on that shelf alone, there'll be thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stock. So again, depending on where you go and how you turn around and what aisle you go down, there is something for absolutely everybody. So we've got about 10 minutes left of this video to go, and you can see hopefully by now with regards to the value of bits and pieces and the price point of stuff, there is something for everybody. Yes, there is a little Lego Star Wars set just behind there, and that did say £50 for that teeny tiny little Lego set, because I would imagine the number on that would have been very, very small, because that would have been the original Star Wars sets that came out in 1999, I would have imagined. So that is something I've never seen before until I saw it there, because again, seeing some of these bits and pieces mint, it's a completely different thing. Now we are walking low. That is Jay's back and backside as we pan past Jay's bottom. Move out the way, Jay. Get out the way. Is he going to move? I'm not taking it out. I just can't be bothered to edit it out. So that is Jay's backside, everybody. And now we're moving on to the next box. So this is, I think that's a box of Fantastic Four. Then you've got the Halo bits and pieces. And then up from there, you have a large selection of Alien characters, Predators. And then you've got the Funko Verse. And then up from that, I do believe there's some Austin Powers bits and pieces up on there as well. So again, Buffy, is that Buffy down there? No, that's the Gotham. So as we pan around, that is the Batman Gotham show, I think, which has lots of different bits and pieces on the inside. And again, loads and loads of Funko Pops, but you have to keep looking underneath the tables as well. So you have to do your stretches and get underneath, because there was a lot of stuff underneath those tables. And again, there's a nice little Star Wars thing that I do believe is similar to the giveaway purchase that will be coming out sooner rather than later, or a set that's going to be coming out sooner rather than later that I've seen for 2024. So that is the Gotham show, £12 each or 4 for 40. I was a fan of that show, to be honest. I thought it was a good show. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. And then as we pan round onto the next bit, loads and loads of Funko Pops. And then from there, yes, you've got the big chunk up at the top for Ghostbusters, and then you have got some other really nice big boxes up at the top, some nice big bits of artwork. And then yes, you can get stuff still in their shipping case, and then this is just a big wrestling stand. So again, if you're a big fan of the old school wrestling stuff, all modern, there was something for everybody. Again, just in this one line, there was loads and loads of wrestling bits and pieces. I didn't see that many AEW, but I did see lots of WWE and WWF characters. And also they had a lot of gaming characters dotted around everywhere as well. So some of them, if you don't recognize them, it's because they are from different games going across everything. So there's a lot of Marvel, DC sort of gaming characters. And again, I do believe for the Star Wars stuff as well. So we might have already passed the stand, and I might have completely ignored it because I was talking about a Lego set. Now, if the video is jumping a little bit, I apologize. Left side, there is a really nice Lego set just there beside the Dark Knight thing. So again, that was just side on. So can't remember what that set was, which is really annoying. But this was the stand, I do believe, that also had the Spider-Man bridge, and that is a Joker Game Boy game. That looks like a cool looking game. Like I was saying, if this is jumping a little bit, I do apologize. I don't know why the video keeps freezing, so I'm not 100% sure why. I think it's because I've slowed it down, but because I've slowed down half an hour of footage, it's just getting a little bit panicky. Now, we have got a non-construction product. Did you spot the Tesla up at the top? That is from the company called Mega. So Mega do all the He-Man characters, and they do all the other bits and pieces. So they've got Snake Mountain, Castle Grayskull. They do all the Barbie stuff. They do what else do they do? They do all of the monster trucks, and they also have a license for something else relating to cars as well. So they've got a lot of licenses going on. So there was one or two of those sets dotted around within this show as well, which is really nice to see. And then obviously you can see the huge amount of people there. That is starting to fill up and starting to get much, much busier. And of course, you've got a lot of magazines and the little bits and pieces that you can catch on when you want to. So again, moving back on to the different characters, lots of different ones from Batman, Jurassic Park, and of course, Ghostbusters seem to be a very, very popular thing. And I do believe, keep it on topic with Ghostbusters, it'll be a potential thing that is going to be coming to Universal. So at the Universal theme parks, that might be a thing that will be coming. And I don't know if it's going to be for the Halloween Horror Nights, or if that is going to be something a little bit more permanent, because we are at their anniversary, and I have read some different bits and pieces regarding to what might be coming. So I will be looking forward to that later on in the year, because the Halloween Horror Nights kicks off, I do believe, in September. But if that is a thing with limited edition merchandise, well, yeah, that I might be looking forward to that quite a lot, because I missed out on a classic horror thing last year. But Ghostbusters for me this year, yeah, that might be worth getting on the plane and checking it all out. So you got classic Razor Ramon. Now that was very, very expensive, but you can see why. It was obviously mint, mint, mint. You got a Rey Mysterio, you got the Ultimate Warrior in there, and then you got some other characters on the floor. I think the wrestling characters seem to potentially have the most value apart from Lego, I do believe. So some of the Lego sets regarding to like those boxes of minifigures that we saw at the start, they were very expensive. And then the next more expensive stuff, I think, was some of the wrestling characters. Now, again, you've just got loose, complete sets in these bags. We've gone back to this because I did miss one or two of these and it was jumping a little bit, so I'm glad we've gone back. So you can see you've got the older Ghost just in there, and then moving up, that is where the Hobbit set was. And then we have got some Power Rangers. So they are £25 each, or clumped together for a set price point. And then you have got a lot of different Transformers. They did look like in a slightly larger scale. And again, you've got all of those up at the top, and then you've got some Star Wars bits and pieces in the middle. Now, there was a stand that had a Spider-Man bridge with the instruction booklet and complete sticker sheet, but just without the box. And this is also another stand, I think, that had a couple of the larger Lego sets dotted around everywhere as well. Like I said, there was gems all over the place. Now, we've got about 5 minutes left, so we are slowly starting to run out of time. And in all fairness, I actually am glad we are, because every 45 seconds at the moment, this video just decides to keep freezing, which is not the most ideal thing, because I can't actually see. Right, I've reset it, and that is the animated series Batmobile. Now, they did also have the Batwing there, and the box for that thing was absolutely enormous. A lot of money as well, but it was huge. And then you had this thing. So again, the Micro Machines, that looked fantastic. The Micro Machines playsets were huge back in the day, and obviously they still are as well, if you think about it, because they all sort of folded out on each other. Then you got these really nice sort of Star Wars boxes, obviously all the different playsets. So if you're a fan of these, you could add them to your collection, which would have looked very, very smart indeed. And then underneath that, you got more Star Wars stuff. So I think maybe, because the amount of times I've said wrestling and Star Wars, I think wrestling and Star Wars were the top two, I think, looking back at this now. And then obviously Lego was just dotted around everywhere. And then there was obviously the odd Marvel DC bits and pieces, but there wasn't a huge amount of Simpsons characters to buy. Like I said, we saw the minifigures, but we didn't see any of the houses. And in toy form as well, there wasn't any of those characters either, really. There might have been the odd one or two dotted around. You can see Bam Bam Bigelow dotted in there. And then over onto this side, you have got some little real monsters, and then you've got some nice little sort of more horror-esque type things. And then as we pan up, you've got a good collection. So you've got the cars. I think this is some other little bits and pieces that will be coming up. But I was looking at the Rocky characters. So you could, again, if you went around this whole place, get a good selection of Rocky characters, or minifigures. Now look at the amount of these. Now this is just one stand. You can save 10% if you buy X amount. Some of them are very, very good value. Some of them are obviously going to be expensive, but this table went on and on and on. There was loads and loads of them to have a look at, so you're going to have to pause it. It's obviously very, very difficult to see something at such a smaller scale with a camera that does not zoom. But I've done what I've done. I've done what I could, and I have tried to slow it down as much as I can without it jumping. But if I try and change it anymore, I literally think this laptop is going to explode. Now we move on to some games, which are then besides some wrestling figures. Then we'll go back to some Lego stuff in a second. There was one or two tables that had some beautiful sets on, which I got a funny feeling I just couldn't get to film, because there was an Apocalypseburg there. There was a sealed Lego Firehouse there. There were some other classic gems. Luckily, I've got them, but some of them now are worth a small fortune, and I did not realize the value in some of these sets. So if you have got some of these sets and you've got them actually in the box and sealed, just be careful what you're selling them for, because some of them go for a small fortune and others not so much. Hot Wheels is another thing. There we go. Just reminded me. Hot Wheels is the other license that Mega have. That was on a bit of a delay, but we are there. And now you can see just how busy it's getting. More and more bodies starting to come in, and it's queues for everywhere. So it's all good fun though, because you just have to wait and have a look. You can see you've got some other little bits and pieces in card form just in there, and then you've got loads and loads of different turtles to pick from. So if you're a fan of these turtles, you wanted to start a turtle collection, you could do. And then this is your main Neca stand, I do believe. So you've got all of the different horror characters dotted around within here, and they were good prices as well. So that was always really nice to see. Then again, more boxes and boxes of just stuff. You've got lots and lots of different bits and pieces. You've got Barbie hidden within there. There's a Simpsons character. There's one of them. So I knew I'd seen at least one of them, but that is just the Homer. So if anybody picked up Homer, then obviously let us know. Then you've got Bart just in the top left, just up in there. And then that was everything. Unless that was an alien. Was that an alien up at the top there? Nice looking Transformers thing just there, the Autobot, which does look very, very smart. And then as you're coming through, you've got a couple of little Batman, you've got some He-Man bits and pieces, more Turtles, and then you have got, I think that is the Hulk at the top. Coming in to some more taller and much bigger characters, you've got the big Crow just there, mixed in with a random Lego Marvel Hulkbuster. I think that Hulkbuster was just the only Lego thing that they had on that stand. Oh no, they didn't. They did have some other bits and pieces as well. So yeah, like I said, it's really hard just to try and find some bits and pieces when it's dotted in. But if you spend your time and you're not looking through a viewfinder, you will be absolutely fine. So it was a credit to everybody to get here so early to actually set these stands up. I would imagine it would have been a very, very long day for all of these sellers. And they did all look very, very nice. It was easy enough to see everything if you had, obviously, the joy of what I'm doing now, just walking up to a table and then just see everything. If not, you just have to wait, and then obviously you just wait your turn and just go through the boxes. But make sure you went through it and had a rummage, because there might have been some hidden gems dotted around in all of those boxes. Right, back to more minifigures. 8 for 2, I do believe, or £1 each. I completely misread that. I think it was £8 for two. So we have got the Spider-Man bits and pieces. You've got a nice 3-in-1 UFO set, which is the one that I am missing. Oh, is that the space one? No, I have. That's the one I do have. It was a different UFO set that I'm missing. And then we have got a lot of good selection of minifigures. You've got some nice CMFs in there. And that night one I'm missing. So it's £10 each or 2 for 20, dotted in on those. And then again, Minecraft and Simpsons minifigures, very, very popular. I'd never seen so many of them until recently, and they just seem to be absolutely everywhere. And then you've got boxes and boxes of these. So I think they were just priced per minifigure on the inside, and you just sort of rummage through the boxes and pick the ones that you wanted. And then you've got the bigger crane at the back. But guys, I am slowly starting to run out of time. We've got about a minute left, and we've got all of this is now Lego for the remaining time. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Again, let us know in the comment section below what it is you came to the show for. Did you even turn up? Would you like to experience this here or a different one further afield? And like I said, I am looking forward to getting to some more Lego based shows and having a look at all of the different custom Lego builds, and then obviously trying to get some other Lego sets as well. But as we are finishing up, there are some beautiful bits and pieces to have a look at. I couldn't film everything. There was a lot more Lego here, and of course there's a lot more toys here as well, so it really definitely is worth the trip coming out and having a look at everything. And again, if you are just trying to get that one thing that you're missing at a larger price point, with it being a Porsche, a Spider-Man bridge, or something like that, that potentially this could have been the show for you. But guys, again, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one. Ta-da.